If you saw 10 news headlines, 9 positive and 1 negative, your brain would spend more time processing the negative one, remember it more clearly, and be more likely to seek out more information about it. This is not a personality flaw. It is a feature of the human nervous system called negativity bias, a deeply embedded evolutionary adaptation that made your ancestors more likely to survive. And it is being systematically exploited by every media organization, social media platform, and content algorithm currently competing for your attention. The result is a population that perceives the world as far more dangerous, more violent, and more deteriorating than the data actually shows, and a mental health crisis that has been building in direct proportion to the amount of news people consume. Negativity bias is one of the most well-documented and robustly replicated findings in psychology. It refers to the asymmetry in how the human brain processes positive and negative information, an asymmetry that operates at every level of cognition, from basic attention and memory to complex judgment and decision-making. Negative events are attended to more quickly than positive events. They are processed more thoroughly. They are remembered more vividly. They have more influence on judgments and decisions. And they generate stronger emotional and physiological responses. Bad is, in a precise measurable sense, stronger than good. The evolutionary logic is straightforward. In the environment in which human psychology evolved, the cost of missing a threat was catastrophic, you died. The cost of missing an opportunity was merely a missed meal, a missed social connection, a missed chance at resources. Natural selection ruthlessly favored brains that were alert to threat, that prioritized the detection of negative, potentially dangerous information over positive information. The ancestral human who paid more attention to the rustle in the grass than to the fruit in the tree was more likely to survive a predator encounter and pass on their genes. Over hundreds of thousands of years, this asymmetry became hardwired into the nervous system. The amygdala, the brain's alarm center, responds more rapidly and more intensely to negative stimuli than to positive ones. Negative images are processed by the visual cortex more thoroughly, activating more neural resources than positive images matched for visual complexity. Studies using eye-tracking technology show that people's gaze is drawn to negative or threatening images faster and held there longer than positive images in the same visual field. Memory consolidation, the process by which experiences are converted into long-term memory, is enhanced by emotional arousal, and negative events typically generate stronger emotional arousal than equivalent positive events. This is why you remember your worst experiences more clearly than your best, why criticism stings longer than praise uplifts. Modern media organizations discovered this bias long before neuroscientists formally described it. The editorial principle, if it bleeds it leads, is not cynical wisdom, it is accurate observation of human psychology. Stories about crime, disaster, conflict, threat, and mortality attract more attention than stories about progress, improvement, discovery, or well-being. In a competitive media environment where attention is the scarce resource and advertising revenue depends on capturing and holding that attention, the rational business decision is to produce content that the brain is wired to prioritize. The result is a media ecosystem overwhelmingly weighted toward negative content, not because the world is overwhelmingly negative, but because negativity is what gets and holds human attention. The scale of the distortion this creates between media representation and reality is extraordinary. Survey after survey shows that majorities of people in wealthy nations believe crime is rising when it has fallen dramatically over decades, that violence is increasing when by almost every measure it has declined, that poverty is expanding when global extreme poverty has fallen from 36% of the world population in 1990 to under 10% today. Hans Rosling, the Swedish physician and statistician, spent years documenting this gap between perception and reality. He found that audiences' beliefs about global trends were consistently more pessimistic than the actual data, that people were systematically wrong about the world in the negative direction. Chimpanzees randomly guessing, he pointed out, would get more questions about global trends right than educated humans relying on their media-informed intuitions. The psychological consequences of chronic negative news consumption are measurable and significant. A 2020 study during the COVID-19 pandemic found that people who consumed more news showed higher levels of anxiety, depression, and acute stress responses. multiple studies have found correlations between heavy news consumption and post-traumatic stress symptoms, particularly after coverage of mass casualty events, terrorist attacks, or natural disasters. The phenomenon of vicarious traumatization, experiencing trauma responses from media coverage of events that did not directly affect you, is real, documented, and increasingly common in an era of 24-hour news cycles and social media amplification. The digital media environment has intensified these effects dramatically. Social media algorithms are optimized for engagement, and negative, outrage-inducing, and fear-generating content consistently generates more engagement, more clicks, more shares, more comments than neutral or positive content. The algorithm learns from this signal and shows users more of what engages them. Over time, users' feeds become progressively weighted toward content that triggers strong negative emotional responses. This is doom-scrolling, the compulsive consumption of distressing news, and it is, from the perspective of the platform's business model, exactly what the system is designed to produce. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises during the consumption of threatening news. For most of human history, a cortisol spike was followed by physical action, fight or flight, and then by the physical dissipation of the hormone as the action was taken and the body recovered. News-induced cortisol spikes are rarely followed by physical action. The viewer reads about a crisis, feels the physiological stress response, and then continues sitting. The cortisol has nowhere to go. For heavy news consumers, this pattern repeats multiple times daily. The cumulative effect is the same chronic cortisol elevation that produces all the physiological damage of chronic stress, cardiovascular strain, immune suppression, hippocampal shrinkage, accelerated aging. The solution is not ignorance. An informed citizenry is genuinely valuable, and deliberate avoidance of all negative information creates its own distortions. But there is a documented difference between being informed and being saturated. Research on news consumption and well-being consistently finds that people who consume news at lower frequency, checking once or twice a day rather than continuously, and who seek out news from sources that report on context and trends rather than only breaking negative events show lower anxiety and more accurate perceptions of reality than heavy consumers. The goal is calibration, a news diet that keeps you genuinely informed about what matters without exploiting the evolutionary wiring that makes you vulnerable to manufactured fear.